Ooh, let's try some different white balance tricks for this one. Just when you thought the Brooklyn Reflector couldn't get any better, hang tight. What's going on, everyone? Seth Miranda here, coming from my studio here in Manhattan. I'm a pro photographer right here in New York. And if you've been following this channel, Daniel Norton's channel, Adorama, or anything in general, you know we're talking about with the Brooklyn Reflector. I did versions of it live earlier in this channel. They're very low quality. I apologize about that, but we're about to reboot the Brooklyn Reflector, so to speak. So first of all, let me clarify what this is. The real Brooklyn Reflector, the real original one, is just a pizza box. It's just something rigid that can fill in shadows. See underneath my jawline right there, fills me in. You guys have seen me use this in the balloon bag video and endless demos out there. But what we refer to as a Brooklyn Reflector as like an ongoing joke with all of us is basically just a piece of foam core, right? It's just a rigid white piece of foam core that we can hold and use as a reflector. Now, Daniel calls it the Brooklyn Reflector because I was hand spray gluing down foil onto these boards to give us both a silver and a white side. And I did this for years, forever, and he would just keep saying I hand make them in Brooklyn, and that's why it's called the Brooklyn Reflector. However, the one full point of the Brooklyn Reflector is it gets beat up pretty easily, and it can actually affect some things. So when you start getting all these bends, wrinkles, and all this other stuff, it doesn't really affect too much of the lighting when it comes to like a big soft light like this. But a hard light source, it can kind of project these textures onto your subject, which sometimes can be pretty cool, but if you don't want it, there's nothing you can do about it. And I've been playing around a few things. I've tried this a bunch in the past. I've done it a few times on the fly just while I was trying to make something happen. But I wanted to give it a little bit more longevity in the studio before I brought it to you guys. And I'm sure there's people that are watching this that have even done this, but pretty much we're gonna start spray painting these now. What this basically will do is take away a step, right? Because you spray down glue, then you adhere the foil. Well, now you're just gonna spray paint down. And I'm gonna show you guys kind of how to get it even, what to look for in your spray paint and stuff like that. But we're not only gonna do just silver, which is surprisingly reflective. Honestly, it looks more matte than the foil, but because you use better quality chrome spray paint, not silver, you get these microscopic little mirrors in here from the metal flake. And you get the, look at how much reflection comes off of this thing. Look at this. It's nuts, right? And as you beat it up, sure, it'll get scuffed, but none of that stuff shows up. And you can always cut the boards down, and if they get dented or dinged or whatever, they don't cause wrinkles. The wrinkles were three-dimensional folds that were causing different reflection directions and causing textures to show up. Well, that doesn't happen here, but we're gonna try a few other things. So not only are we gonna do chrome, but I'm gonna throw in there gold metallic, which is great. Obviously, you guys have seen gold reflectors, but what you may not have seen is copper. So this is copper metallic, you know what that is, but instead of being a yellow warm, I'm wondering if it'll be more of like a chocolatey, rusty kind of color. That'll be a really interesting fill light. We're gonna try this all out. I never did the copper, so this is a world premiere and we're going into this together. So if I go down, you go down. But keep in mind, you want to really stay in the high quality paint for your metallics. It's crucial. You want them to be clean. You want them to be actually metallic rather than a color. A lot of times if you use a lower quality silver or chrome, it'll be more gray and not really metallic-y itself, especially if you're trying out the water-based paints, which are safer, but they don't actually have that silver chrome mirror-y type look. These are Montana cans, and any graffiti kid knows what Montana is, but if you're not familiar, this is really good coverage, really high quality paint. And just for kicks, I'm going to also spray a matte black on one of them. So I have a white board on one side, a black side for negative fill or to block some light. I'm gonna do the two, I'm gonna call them warm tone reflectants on the same board. So I'll have a gold on one side, copper on the other. And then just for bananas, because I had the cans laying around and I wasn't sure what I was gonna use them for, I'm gonna do a neon green and a neon pink on the same board. And you're gonna go, what? Yeah, so if you saw on my Instagram Reels, I showed you guys how to do a filled in colored shadow without using gels, it was reflecting a color, right? If I can do that with colored paper, I can make a reflector that does that. However, not only am I gonna use it to reflect colors in for some fun stuff, which is all sorts of things you can do with that. You can even gel the light and make even more colors happen. We'll get into that. I am gonna shoot this stuff and we're gonna see all the comparisons together, so hang tight for that. But the other thing is, the green, I can actually use the board as a green screen in a pinch. So I'm kind of multitasking or seeing how much versatility I get out of this in one shot. I'm pretty excited about that. I was actually gonna do like all the neon colors, but let's try this out first. If it works out, we'll do more. So let's recap what we're doing here. We're gonna have whiteboard on one side, chrome on the other, which is basically this. We're gonna do a white and a black, so I have a negative fill or a block. And keep in mind, like negative fill, just think of it as reflecting black. It really deepens those shadows, gives you some nice dark, halos around parts of your subject, so you can get some nice sculpt, especially if I was shooting something like this round can. If I can make the shadow deeper on the side, you'll see more of a cylindrical type shape. We're gonna do the two warm tones, which are the copper and the gold on the same board. And we're gonna do a neon one, which is neon green and neon pink. And we're gonna get Sheila in here, we're gonna shoot it, and we're gonna put all the photos up right next to each other and see what they did. And you guys can try this at home. So the one thing I will recommend, aside from just getting higher quality paint, is get yourself what we call a fat cap. So in most art stores now, you can actually get Montana. It used to be like hard to get for the civilian world out there, but now it's kind of easy to get. And you can buy caps, and there's thin caps, skinny caps, all different types of effects kind of caps. But you're gonna wanna look for fat caps. And what you're looking for in a cap actually isn't the dot here. Let me zoom in and hopefully you guys can see this. You're not just gonna look at the dot here. That's more about how clean the circle is that it sprays. What you're gonna look for is in the cap itself, how big the feed tube is. So if you can see, it's got a cutout right over here, and it's wider than if I were to show you a cap like this, which actually just has like a tiny little slit. That's what actually changes how much it covers as far as the size of the spray goes. If you have a thin cap, it's a slit and it lets less paint out with the propellant. If you have a fat cap, it'll have a bigger opening inside the cap itself, allowing more paint, giving you a bigger projected circle, and so on and so forth. And different caps have different types of circles, like some are really clean and sharp, some are a little frayed and fuzzy. I'm gonna be using what they call pink dots, which is kind of like the standard, Chevy of fat caps. Check out the D.I.Y background video I did a little bit ago. I go over how to do nice even spray there as well for the spray glue. Same thing applies to the paint, but knowing future Seth, he's gonna go on the balcony and basically tell you, here's how you do a nice even spray anyway, so whatever, or check out the video in the link below. All right, so let's go head out on the balcony, spray up some boards, get in here and shoot Sheila with them, and see what we get. Hey, future Seth here, and this is me cleaning up and wrapping up after recording this video. I just want to say, I know this might be a bit much because you could probably just go out there and buy boards that already are made like this, but one, they're usually smaller, more expensive, or they aren't even available in some places depending on where you live. So just keep that in mind. I'm thinking of the comments as I'm packing up, and I'm like, you guys would totally call me out on that. This is just another option, and take the principles from this and apply it in other ways. So, all right, go back. All right, so I'm out here on the balcony. You're gonna hear a bunch of construction because there's nothing to do about that. And it just rained, so I'm doing this in a window of no rain, so I'm gonna do this as fast as I can. Sorry if I seem like I'm rushing right now. I've got all my cans laid out here, and I've switched them all over to the fat caps, because remember, we want a nice even spray. We don't wanna have tight, concentrated lines. We wanna just get good, nice, even coverage, and we don't want any spatter, we don't want any thick spots, we don't want any thin spots either. So they're now switched over to the fat caps. I could just easily use one cap and clear the cap when I switch to the next color by turning upside down, just spraying it till there's no paint coming out. But whatever, I'm gonna do the boards that are double-sided first, so that I do one side, let them set while I'm spraying the other boards. Let's get going on this. I'm gonna pull one of the boards right here out, and let's start off with the one that I'm super curious about, which is the copper, because I've never messed with it before. And remember, you can never shake metallics too much. Like, you really want to get as much of the paint mixed up as possible. I haven't shaken them pretty much all day. And remember, you want to wear a mask because, come on, do I even have to say it? But with metallics, you really want to be super careful when it comes to your health You know, I'm not even gonna get into that, but got my old mask, Old Faithful here, and let's just get spraying. Remember, what we're basically going to do is spray, stop, move down, a little bit overlap, spray, stop, move down, a little bit overlap, and keep doing that. We don't want to just hold the button down and just keep on spraying, because what you're gonna end up getting is thicker edges, spatter going everywhere from the paint collecting on the edge of the can. You know, stopping for a second gives it a little bit of time to solidify so it doesn't just become liquid dripping everywhere. Don't forget that. Don't hammer it down. Spray, stop, spray, stop, spray, stop, spray, stop. That's how you want to do it, okay, guys? All right, wish me luck. Future Seth, just, you know, speed this part up. All right, so that's one side of one board done. Remember, you don't want to go too thick. You're going to be clamping this thing down a lot to keep it in place for when you're shooting. And you don't want it to be like gummy or clay or chip or scratch off. You just want it to be the metallic color or whatever color we're doing right here. All right, I'm going to put this one to the side and work on the next one. And it's already starting to drizzle again, so I am going to probably have some pretty messed up boards here, but that's kind of the fun of these things too, is they're low investment. If they get messed up, you try them again, or you use them until they break, and you know, you try and you make another set. Okay, so that was a bit of an adventure. It was starting to rain. I rushed these boards pretty quickly. I picked the best day on earth to do this, but it is what it is. Okay, let's just do a quick recap and take a look at the boards. So first of all, I did a really nice clean silver once again. So this is, you know, white on one side, clean silver on the other. So that is the classic, right? But then I was like, let's try gold. Gold came out pretty nice, and copper. So we know what the gold's gonna look like. Actually, probably see a little bit on me. And then the copper should give me like a more brownish, warmy, but not yellowy warmy type of look, which I'm super excited about. I'm gonna try that one. And I also sprayed a quick matte black for a negative fill, as matte as I could get it, really. I had to rush that one because it started downpouring. And last but not least, my neon green and pink. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is gonna reflect so much color. And like I said, in a pinch, I could probably throw the green one up as a quick green screen. So it is what it is. They're still settling, so the paint is still soft. So here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna shoot each one of these with Sheila. I put up a quick beauty dish on a Profoto B10, pretty close, so we should get a good shadow on this side. And what we'll do is we'll just keep mounting the boards on this shorty C-stand right here. So she stays the same, the light stays the same, the reflector stays the same. And I'm gonna shoot all these test shots on this nice little Nikon Z50 APS-C little fun banger camera I got hanging around the studio. So let's go with no reflector, then we'll just keep on throwing the boards at this and see what happens. I have a feeling I'm gonna get them pretty closer to Sheila than you'd expect, but let's just take a look. So no reflector. And let's throw in the classic white. I'm gonna put in the one that's already banged up, because why mess up a good reflector for no reason? Let's just tighten this down a little bit, and let's walk this in nice and tight so we can get the most that we can out of the reflector. The closer it is, the more of an effect it'll have. So this we'll really get a sense of what these boards are even doing. So this is white reflector. Now let's throw in the brand new, beautifully nice and smooth, never been touched until Daniel gets a hold of it to destroy it on me. We'll put it right here. Nice silver board. Should be a little punch here. Let's take the silver down and let's throw in the fun ones. Let's go with the gold. We all know what gold looks like, but let's see how this one fares. It's pretty reflective just from holding it, so we should see a good amount of gold in those shadows. And let's flip it around and just see what the copper does. This one I'm super curious about. I think it'll be subtle, but I also think it'll be pretty cool as well. I have a feeling it'll be nice to throw into certain types of portraiture in there, or out there rather. Let's take a look. And let's go bananas with the neon pink. Whoa, oh, my eyes. Now let's put this in there. No surprise there. And let's take a look at the green, which will be basically the same thing as that pink, but you know, green. And just for kicks, let's throw in some negative fill of this matte black right into play. And we should, you know, bring in those shadows, or bring down those shadows rather, on that side of Sheila's face. Sheila, you're the best. You stay still for every shot. Gives us a real good look at what we're doing here. All right, so that is the reflectors we made today. As you can see, silver's a little more punchy. The gold and the copper are subtle in difference, but I think you can tell that the copper has a bit more of a browner tone to it. Might be nicer towards certain skin tones. I don't know, I won't know until I play with it. I never did that before. And you can see the colors are just fun colors, and you can even play games with the green and pink or blue or whatever colors you go with by putting a gel on your key light, and then you got even more colors mixing in there. Who knows what's gonna happen in there when you put something like a blue reflector in there with a yellow gel light. You might get some greenish, bluish shadows going on. I don't know. And of course, black for negative fill, really pulling in those shadows, giving us some more definition. And you know, you can also use the block light and things like that. And of course, you know, good old white, which is just a nice soft bounce. All right, guys. So I hope this was kind of fun for you. It was or helpful. I don't know what these videos are anymore, but I'm just trying to make this channel active and have fun with it. And the Brooklyn reflector has been kind of like a staple on all our little channels around here. And you guys seem to really call it out all the time. And it's a fun tool, right? I mean, you're talking about a low investment, right? A few bucks and you get a nice, big, rigid, light, easy to hold out type of reflector out there, bounce board, whatever you want to call it. And you have so many options. You can cut them down. You can make them into little V flats for tabletop or whatever. A lot of uses for this. And of course, if you wreck one, it's another few bucks, get another one. It's not that big a deal. But the only thing that sucks about these is you can't take them everywhere, because what are you gonna do, walk around like this, like a mook? I don't know. Anyway, I hope you guys like this. Let me know down below if this was something cool for you guys. Let me know if you've been using Brooklyn reflectors. I know that a lot of people tried to make their own with the foil back when I did that. Well, I think the silver spray paint not only has a little bit more reflectance, a little more durability, but it's just that much easier, right? If you're gonna spray glue down, you might as well just spray down the spray paint itself. All right, that is where I'm going to leave this train wreck of a video. I've got to clean this place up for sure. I know, you're so judgmental. I'm in the middle of something. I will clean it up. Relax. I'm recording, thank you. All right, so if you want, check out my Instagram. I've got 30-second reels going on in there for quick tips, shutter drag techniques, little fun, low-cost things you can do to make some cool images happen out there, and little gaps in knowledge that I think are out there, especially from what I'm reading on forums and just your guys' comments. Use guys' comments? I don't even know how to say talk anymore. From your comments, I've put together some things that are little gaps in knowledge out there. So check out my Instagram, 30-second reels, LastXWitness, and don't forget to join me live on twitch.tv/LastXWitness, where you can ask me anything right to my face. We talk about the industry. You guys can share some work. There's a great Discord community. A lot of photo nerds in there that can help you out, troubleshoot things you're having issues with, maybe have the same gear that you have, or you know, trying to do techniques and things like that, or even just share stuff out there that you might not be aware of. You know, it's a really cool thing. Check out the Discord, check out the Twitch, join me on Instagram and all that other stuff. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Hit like, share this video around, hit subscribe, plus the bell to get notified more videos that come out. And I will see you next time. Later.